Coming up tonight on YCN News, Newport's new town manager holds a meet and greet before he takes office next Monday. Ohio Governor John Kasich officially announces his bid for the Republican nomination. And the next part in our signature golf hole series is here. See how Mike Pizzone fared on the fairway. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN News, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, everyone. It's Tuesday, July 21st. Welcome to YCN News. I'm Kurt Weedy. Well, with road work in downtown Newport well underway, with the replacement of storm drains and drainage, YCN caught up with Paul Brown, who is the town manager of Newport. He tells us what is being done, how long it'll take, and what to expect.
The project being done is replacing storm drains and drainage from the South Main Street Bridge north to the Little Common. It's about 900 feet, and the work is being undertaken by the state. The project should be 8 to 10 weeks. They were hoping to do about 100 feet a week, and so far they're on target, but we'll see as they go up the road. The work is being done now. There's some of the drainage systems had failed. We had catch basins that were starting to cave in, and were concerned for property and people's safety, and also just getting the water out of Upper Main Street and down to the river. We've been working on the Ruger parking lot, the municipal parking lot at the corner of the road, which is owned by Sullivan County, and they were looking at the drainage and where the water from that parking lot might go. And when they did a videotape of the drainage, they realized that this side was really bad and needed to be replaced. So they really started planning probably in late spring and started the project on the 13th of July. Well, thankfully, the state of New Hampshire is paying for it, and it's estimated, I think they have $132,000 in their budget, and we hope it's more than enough.
And as Town Manager Brown said, commuters and visitors to the downtown region can expect the work to be done by the end of the summer. Well, also in Newport yesterday evening, next to the old courthouse restaurant, residents and businesses had a chance to meet incoming town manager Shane O'Keefe. Refreshments and snacks were available to those who came out in the beautiful evening weather. Gary Nichols, who is the chairman of the Newport Board of Selectmen, was asked by YCN why O'Keefe was the best choice for the position. This is what he had to say.
Shane brings a great deal of experience. He's had been a town administrator both in Bellas Falls, Rockingham, Putney, Vermont, Swansea, New Hampshire. He's also been involved, and he's a certified planner. He was in Hillsborough for a while. He's also one of the areas that we're very interested in is training people for jobs and bringing them up. And he was director of the Dean Center in Springfield, Vermont for 5 years, which was, we're looking for that kind of experience. So basically an in-depth amount of experience that we were looking for our town.
YCN News also got a chance to speak to O'Keefe himself and asked him about his interest in the town of Newport and why he chose to run for town manager there.
Newport has so many great opportunities, so many great people, the volunteers I've met throughout the process of through the interviews, and that is, it's been very, very interesting to me. The community has a great downtown with that's bustling and very attractive. Just so many great opportunities here, not only from an economic development standpoint, but for just any number of great reasons. But it's just a wonderful community. We've been very, Lisa was actually part, this is my wife Lisa O'Keefe, and she was actually part of the process of interviewing at one point, which is probably why I ended up with the job. But just a lot of great opportunities, great people. The Board of Selectmen have been really open and very pleasing.
O'Keefe takes office and assumes full responsibilities on July 27th, which is next Monday. Well, as it has for the last several years, the annual Annie E. Casey Foundation Kids Count data book has given high ratings to New Hampshire as one of the best places for children to live. Governor Maggie Hassan today says the state again received great standing among all the U.S. states. Even so, Hassan says this year's rise to second among the other 49 states is, well, a mixed blessing. That's because while the number 2 ranking in overall child well-being bodes well for all who live and work in New Hampshire, the state also is tied nationally for the highest rate of substance abuse among teens, Hassan reports today. More work must be done in the state to boost education, awareness, and prevention efforts so that young people do not use or abuse street drugs. It should be noted that alcohol is also considered a drug. Well, financial issues find a way into legislative policy, including the use of electronic or EBT cards in New Hampshire. Governor Maggie Hassan signed into law a bill that will protect public dollars from EBT fraud while also protecting the rights of residents who need financial support at this time in their lives. House and Senate lawmakers each tried to work on a bill to address this issue. Now, yesterday, the governor signed into law the House version of a bill to lessen fraud without discriminating from approved EBT card users. House Bill 219 will accomplish this, Hassan agreed, unlike Senate Bill 169. Now, under House Bill 219, specific places where an EBT card cannot be used is outlined. And guidelines for EBT users and retailers regarding the best use of EBT cards is also part of the new law. Well, coming up next on YCN News, Ohio Governor John Kasich throws his hat into the ring for the Republican nomination. We'll have that story for you after the break.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. Thank you for staying with us tonight. I'm Kurt Weedy. Well, President Obama has issued a proclamation ordering the lowering of flags on all public buildings and grounds to half staff immediately and until sunset Saturday, July 25th. The proclamation stands to honor the 4 U.S. Marines and 1 Navy sailor killed last week in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Well, in other national news, Ohio Governor John Kasich has officially entered the race for the 2016 Republican presidential nomination. Becoming the 16th Republican to do so, Kasich had expressed interest in running and has made stops around the country to garner support for a possible presidential bid announcement. He visited parts of New Hampshire in early June, including a stop in Lebanon. During his visit to the region on June 5th, he told YCN with a smile on his face that his only criteria in deciding whether he would run or not was simply, well, if he could win. Well, it seems he decided that he indeed can. Governor Kasich is in New Hampshire today in Portsmouth and is making other stops in the state until Thursday, when he departs for South Carolina. Well, turning to Vermont news, there is help for homeowners following Sunday night and Monday morning's flooding. Department of Emergency Management and Homeland Security Director Mark Bosma says in a news release that people who were flooded can call 211 to obtain cleanup kits for their home and ask about getting help from volunteers to help clean up. 211 will coordinate requests for resources like these so the state and volunteer organizations can determine where and what type of assistance is needed. People who have suffered damage to their homes in the storm should report that damage to their respective city or town. Towns will compile damage reports that will allow the state to determine if any other assistance could be available to homeowners. Now, homeowners who evacuated from their homes during the storm and are returning are cautioned to ensure no contaminants have entered their home with the floodwaters. Those people re-entering their homes are also advised to have electrical systems inspected by a licensed electrician before turning power back on in the house. For more information, contact Mark Bosma at 802-839-6717. Well, also in Vermont, southern Vermont's Windham County is getting renewed economic focus with the goals for the Windham County Economic Development Program. With Vermont Yankee Nuclear Power Plant no longer supplying power to the electric grid and the jobs that will be lost with its closure, the state is stepping up its mission to stimulate job creation. To apply for grants and loans and to become a part of Windham County's economic rebirth, check out the website shown on the screen below. And from the Upper Valley, beginning tomorrow and lasting through this week, highway crews will be at Bridge Street in West Lebanon. There will be alternating one-way traffic between 9 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon each day. Depending on the level of work, city officials report that you should expect traffic delays. Local businesses in this area will be open their normal business hours. For questions or concerns, you can contact engineer Jeffrey Potter with the New Hampshire Department of Transportation Construction Bureau at 207-504-2710 or at 603-790-8354. Well, after the break on YCN News, do you like to hike or bike during the summer? I know I sure do. Well, you won't want to miss our next segment. River Valley Chronicle host Elizabeth D'Orazio sat down with Russell Herschler of the Upper Valley Trails Alliance. They maintain a handful of trails across our region. Stick around for that interview.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Mike Pizzone. Well, it was another warm one out there with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, but it looks like things should cool off a bit in time for tomorrow. Clouds will likely increase into the evening hours tonight, bringing with them a 40% chance for thunderstorms before 10 p.m. and a low of about 61 degrees. Those clouds will clear up by sunrise tomorrow, making for mostly sunny skies and a much more comfortable high of 76 degrees. Skies will remain partly cloudy tomorrow evening, with a low of 60 before another bright sunny day Thursday with a high of 75 degrees during the day and a low of 59 Thursday evening. Now let's see what's happening in the area with a quick look at our community calendar. Windsor's Concert on the Common series will continue tomorrow night with a free performance by Carter Glass at 6 p.m. on the State Street Commons in Windsor, Vermont. Audience members are encouraged to bring a blanket or a chair and refreshments. The Rockingham Free Public Library's Summer RPG League, or Role Playing Games League, will meet tomorrow night from 5 to 9 p.m. at the library on Westminster Street in Bellows Falls, Vermont. The league is free and open to gamers of all levels. The Charlestown VFW Post Hall on Lovers Lane Road will host its weekly bingo night tomorrow with games beginning at 6:30 p.m. Food and soft drinks will be available, and games are the primary fundraiser for scholarships and other community donations. Last night I headed over to Lake Sunapee Country Club in New London, New Hampshire to shoot the third segment in our multi-part series highlighting the signature holes on our local golf courses. Let's see how it went. I'm here in New London, New Hampshire at Lake Sunapee Country Club, and I'm here with the director of golf here, Craig Gardner, and we're on the par 4 fifth hole. And I know this is what you guys consider the signature hole on the golf course. So what makes this hole special in comparison to the other 17 on this course?
This hole Ross designed. It's a hole that the average golfer and the better golfer can play and make birdies on the hole. It's fairly short. If you look at where we're headed right here, there's a bunker in the middle of the fairway. That's where you're supposed to drive it over. You can also go to the left of the hole of that bunker if you don't hit it quite as far. When you get up to the green, there's bunkers short of the green that look like they're right green side, but actually they're about 20 yards short of the green. The 20 handicapper golfers will make a birdie here, and the 3 handicappers will make a birdie. So it's a fun hole for everybody.
All right, well let's see if we can avoid those bunkers and give it a whirl.
We'll give it a whirl.
Craig was first on the tee, and the club's director of golf wasted little time placing a perfect drive in the middle of the fairway well beyond that first bunker. I was up next, and despite my fears of slicing one right of the trees and into the 6th fairway, I ended up hitting a nearly identical shot to Craig's right smack in the center of the fairway. Craig was up next for his second shot, and despite hitting a solid wedge up onto the green, his ball fell victim to the large slope leading up to the putting surface, leaving his ball to roll down off the green and onto the fringe. I found my shot a bit intimidating with all those bunkers protecting the green, and as a result, I ended up pulling my shot long and left and into the rough. It didn't leave me a horrible third shot though, as I chipped down onto the putting surface, leaving me about a 12-foot putt for par. From there, Craig took aim at the pin for an attempt at birdie, using his putter from just off the edge of the green. And his bid was just about perfect up the hill toward the cup, leaving him about a 3-foot putt for a solid par. I took my time to line up my par putt, but the slope proved to be a little larger than I had anticipated, leaving me just short of the hole for what ended up being a tap-in bogey. Well, thanks a lot for having us, Craig. That was a beautiful hole, especially this time of day with this lighting. And I got to say, that second shot was a little intimidating with all those bunkers, but that was a lot of fun.
Well, you did a great job on it, and you guys can come back anytime.
Awesome.
Thank you
Thanks
very
a
much.
lot. Appreciate it. And on the diamond, the New Hampshire Fisher Cats earned a narrow 3-2 win on the road over Harrisburg last night in the first game of their 3-game series. The teams will square off again tonight with first pitch slated for 7 p.m. That's been your look at local sports. I'm Mike Pizzone.
Thanks, Mike. Well, after the break, Capital Connections host John O'Connor will continue his conversation with Ginny Lupi, who is the director for the New Hampshire State Council on the Arts. Stay with us.
The YCN News continues in a moment.